Oof. How about that? 230, we have this big move to the upside, offering opportunity to open up a short position, and then a big whip around here. Be careful because this decline ends with a fast, sudden move higher, um, and then we revisit lows, it looks like. Well, matter of factly, this right here is like, it could be considered a fast, sudden move higher at the end of a decline. Um, Especially because like we got to see the revisiting of a support rotating sideways along support and a sharp drop in that period of sideways rotation around the close, and that sharp drop should take us back to a support level. Oh man, were we on point with this reading? The high here between 2 and 3 o'clock, the highs here at 248, and then after that we've got the low coming into play here at the end of the day. We might already be in the period of sideways rotation, in which case we'll probably revisit, unless we go lower. We'll probably revisit like this level at least. We might go lower into the close or in the post market. Hey Cal 3, welcome. Which month will ICP make a high in 2024? I prefer to wait on the first question because I haven't done a 2024 reading for it yet, and that's where I'll get the most accurate information is by doing the reading. But as far as the all-time high, let's take a look. I got a 10-year for ICP, I'm pretty sure. A 9-year, excuse me. All right, so we got a 10-year here for ICP. With what appears to be like a high correlation here in 2024. There's also a prominent low on a multi-year scale. Um, hmm. Wow, it was all the way up at $400, man. Well, there's a pretty big move. So there's a high in, matter of factly, it's probably higher here in 2025 here. A big move to the upside, pushing for distant resistance. And then there's like this important price level here in 2025, 2026. I would say that's probably where you get the high for like this 9-year period at least. But it does look like it's bullish into the next 10-year period. So I'll probably do another 10-year reading, like the following 10-year, 2030 through 2039, and see what happens there. Hey, AV. So the question is August good for small caps, biotech, oil, and gold? I'm just going to throw down 4 cards one at a time for each of them. For small caps, that's a no. We had multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. For biotech, it's the devil card. I'd be careful. In the case of trend direction, the devil card indicates usually a pretty scary decline, but it can be like a fake out, shake out. I throw another card down. It's pretty mixed, so there's some whipsaw action there for small caps. Excuse me, for biotech. For oil, pretty sure I got a USO for oil. Let's check out USO. Oops. I did the highs and the lows there. I didn't do the full markup, but it's worth taking a look at. Really nailed today's chart, guys. How about that? And we did open lower. Nice. Okay, so I was on point with that. This is like a 100% reading. That's my feeling. Yeah, it looks like a 100. Well, we'll see what happens at the very end of the day, but it's pretty much a 100% accurate reading there. I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but so for August, for USO, big move higher early in the month. Yeah, we might actually break out through this range here in August. It looks like we're probably in USO. We're going to break through that $70 high that we had back in April, and probably make a new high there. I don't have, when I do the markup, there's indication here of a new high. I don't have it marked up fully, but there is some significant indication of a new high here in like the first week or two of August for USO. And that offers an opportunity when we break out on a multi-day kind of scale, offers an opportunity to open up a short position. Pretty big decline, it looks like, in the beginning of like on the cusp of August, September, maybe. And then the last one, gold. Wonder if I did. I'm pretty sure I did August gold. Sorry to say, guys, we're discontinuing the monthly subscription for gold. It's just not volatile enough of a stock for the monthlies to really make a difference. We can cover the gold on a monthly basis from a 1-year chart, and it'll be more effective, is my sense. But this is overall. It looks like it's a pretty bearish month, and then at the very end of the month, we move back to the highs that we see probably at the beginning of August on the 5th, 6th, which I probably left out not seeing it because I don't have it marked up on the 1 month. Hey Cal, I'm not skipping you. I just gotta get the people with the stars next to their names first because they're actually paying subscribers, and then I'll circle back to any questions, just so you guys know. Stuck in Microsoft call due to the fact that I thought would rally on earnings, but it actually dumped. Best time to exit. Uh, expiry July 28th. Yeah, I probably should have just like, oh, I don't have a monthly for it. Let me see here. I'll probably stop doing overnight predictions because I don't feel that it's enough time for the manifestation to properly execute. I might have just been an off day. Well, it did move to the upside first and then it dumped. But when would be the best day? They expire on the 28th. Jeez. Erwin, you should just get out of those, dude. Like, those are way too close to expiration and out of the money. They're just going to dwindle to zero. You should just get out of those, unfortunately. I mean, there might be a move to the upside tomorrow, but like, that's not a good position to be in. It's too short term expiration. I mean, it might be. I got a art card for tomorrow, and I just threw it down, and then the following day the sorrow card. So overall, not looking so great. And to wait to the day before, I mean, without the money, you're better off just taking it and like putting the remainder to good use in a better trade rather than trying to like come back from a wrong, from a bad trade. Oh, that's for shop. Let me see. Yeah, it does look like that's the best day. I got the Prince of Wands there, which is a rally increasing with momentum moving forward through the day. And then the following day was pretty bearish. Yeah, I mean, carrying these like near-term expiration out of the money options. You should really never be in options that close to expiration. It's a really bad idea. Like 90% of the time, you're gonna lose the money. Even if it's like at the money when moving towards it, like crazy things happen and you can lose it. There's like big price swings as you get closer to the expiration. Hermes, what are you doing? Tesla's general trend direction the remainder of the week. It's to the upside, rally increasing with momentum. And then we'll SEAL rally in August, SEEL. Hermes, you're too much, You're too much. I got a yes for that pretty notably. All right, so there's already there's a 9 years because it's only been around since 2021, Cal. But there's a 9 year outlet you could take a look at that should be up on the site, and then let me just double check and make sure that's up on the site. Ah, okay. It's not up on the site, but I have it done, so I'll have to do that relatively soon. I'll get into that for you. I'm going to mark that off so that it gets completed. Hey, Tibraze. You took a short on SPY from 455. Is it safe to keep it open until tomorrow or for next few days? Let me open up one more. All right, so we moved into a high, basically like a double. This is like a double top right here. Um, Hard to say from the 1 month standpoint, but let's take a look. We probably open higher. It's pretty interesting reading. My gosh. Not easy to determine overall direction because I don't have highs there. I don't have, well, I do have high correlation, but the high and the low are within close time proximity to each other. I would say you probably want to get out just because it's not clear. If you got a profit Tibraze, I would probably take it here. You might be leaving some on the table, but I wouldn't risk it because it's not clear enough. Got stuck in Microsoft call as well, Vanessa. My bad. I was 0.25, so I was off. But I'm not going to get them every time. It's just not going to happen. You have to be at a certain energetic frequency, and to maintain that every single day it's a little difficult. Although my living situation's gotten better where that's actually becoming an easier thing. Yeah, welcome pair halls, and apparently there was already a rate hike today. Vanessa's stuck in Microsoft call. When does the Microsoft call expire? Carolyn, how did you get in these? My gosh. You should never open up expiration so close. It's not a good idea. Even if you're right, like to be out of the money or at the money, to be anything but deep in the money like that close to expiration is not a good idea. Coin goes lower tomorrow. Looks like lower on Friday. Hey, Merdula. Yeah, the that's just it. So so I'm glad that you gave me a little feedback there. That's my sense is that the overnight ones just aren't working. I haven't been in the right vibrational frequency to pull off the overnights. I will be relatively soon. I know that because I'm on point with my living situation, and that's really what it's about for vibrational frequency for me. I do so many things to raise it. There's only a few little things that can be done to like make it higher, and we're ironing some of those out. But I would say overnight probably not the best use of my skills here. Is it a good idea to buy Seal now? No. Will it hit $1.60 next week? Seal, SEEL, hit $1.60 next week. I got like an unclear answer there. Oh. No, I got a no for that. Hey, IG. All right, so do I reckon that SPY will be bullish or bearish tomorrow? Guys, I'm gonna I'm gonna have to start putting a limit on how many questions you can ask because it's getting there's other people on the thing, and it's taking up all of my time. There's things that I need to talk about as well before the market closes. I can't be answering like all questions for one person and then the market closes and nobody else can do anything. It's not fair. Like I'm just going to tell you, if you're in out of the money expiration call options that expire in 2 days, the smart thing to do is get out of those, take the loss and move on. Any seasoned trader would know that, would do that, excuse me. IG, I'm pretty sure I've answered that question a couple times. Does anybody remember what I said as far as if it's going to reach the 36? I'm pretty sure I said it's going to reach the 36 before the 20K gap. To Braze, are you talking about Bitcoin, I'm guessing? Do we see 30K before we see 28 and a half? Yes. We see 30 first. Will Amazon be broken up into multiple entities? Good question. Conrad Helix's advice at the bottom of the chat, 100%, my man. Like, if you're buying out of the money options for like overnight moves, and the expiration is like right around the corner, you're basically gambling. There's nothing more, because out of the money options, you can look at the stats and it'll tell you what the probability is of it actually becoming in the money. And every day that you get closer, it goes down. You're basically buying time. You're not buying value at all. You're only buying time when you buy out of the money options. So every single day, it loses money. Sometimes you can be right and it still goes down at a rate faster than it would go up for being right. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I learned a long time ago to stop doing, was playing around with options that expire same week. It's a really bad idea. All right, so will Amazon be broken up first? I got a yes. Amazon will be broken up. Interesting. I'll do a reading on that, like in more depth at some point. All right, guys. So 6 minutes left. I'm gonna run through SPY. Excuse me, guys. Didn't mean to cough in your ear. Okay, so that's a fast sudden move higher out of ending a decline, and then we revisit support should be as we come in towards the close here. If you didn't already take profits, I'd say we're more likely to go down into the close than up at this point. But it would make sense if you've got a profit here to close it for a day trade based on lack of clarity here tomorrow. We likely open higher. Because there's like a crest that we revisit. We might revisit this price level. There's a crest that we revisit tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure the highs, like the high for the month was made there, just at that spike. That was the high there, most likely. Oh, hey, Hermes. What you doing? You want some pets? So tomorrow, in the midst of a rally, first thing in the morning, to a high, you could open up a short position and then close that short position pretty quickly thereafter in the midst of a decline off of a peak, not a crest, specifically off of a peak here in the first half hour or so. And then it looks like we revisit a crest midday. It's pretty mixed. Overall, it looks like it's bullish energy, but it's pretty mixed. So high and low first thing in the morning. Might have a peak at the end of the day. It's possible. And then the 28th is looking real bullish. So this might actually, since the 28th is looking bullish from looking at it now, this 31st might end up being another high. Right? But I would say it's a scalp in the morning. You could risk holding the short overnight, but that becomes really, it's a lot more risky than taking a profit now. Guys, so really with this information, I always say trade responsibly, and it's really important that you guys understand you can't take this information and like pretend you're like the superhero of the stock market and like you have superpowers and everything's going to go right, like, and then do just irresponsible stuff. Like you have to trade responsibly. If you trade like a gambler, you're going to get caught with gambling results. I'm not right all the time, and even when I am right, sometimes there's things that we miss. Sometimes there's risk tolerance that takes you out. The risk tolerance becomes more and more of a factor the closer you get to expiration, especially if you're out of the money or at the money in options. Rule of thumb: never get into never enter into options that expire same week, and try to avoid being in options once they get to like 1 week's time before expiration. Just try and avoid it altogether. When you purchase options, plan for an exit. Plan to purchase expiration that's further out than where you plan to exit. That's really important. Otherwise, you're going to get caught so many times, like just barely, like if it had just moved a little further, I would have made that money. But, like that's what'll happen. You'll be right and still lose money because it's trade like you would if you didn't have this information, but take this information and add it to like your decisions of when and what to do, and you'll do phenomenal. But you're not going to be right every time, so make sure that you're trading responsibly. Otherwise, that one time is going to take you out of all the responsible times where you took money in. It one time at like all in is all it takes. So I apologize for being off on those earnings. I'm usually pretty on point with the earnings, but it looks like I was having an off day, which, there's human error involved. And then also occasionally the system isn't going to work because the fractal will change. But that's very rare. Looks like we went to the upside. Well, technically, the sequence of events, so it wasn't 100%, but the sequence of events was 100%. So we had this low here, and then sideways rotation with a sharp drop that stands out in that period of sideways. No, that would be the fast sudden move higher. So we probably come up against the same resistance tomorrow. And I would say it's going to be kind of sidewaysy based on what I'm seeing in the 1 day and the overall 1 month energy of the truce card. It's going to be kind of like sidewaysy. So good trade first thing in the morning. And it's pretty mixed as we move into the end of the day, but very sidewaysy behavior. And then we revisit, it may be that we revisit the high again on the 28th, and then we possibly break through the high there on the 30. Well, yeah, it may be that we see the high again on the 28th. All right, guys, but that's what I got for you. Merdula, Twitter isn't publicly traded anymore. It went private when Elon Musk purchased all of the shares. I think that was earlier this year, or it might have been at the end of last year. I forget. AI and AFRM. So overall trend direction. Oops. Let me do that over. The cards are upside down. I don't like to do that. Overall trend direction, next couple of days. It's mixed for AI next 2 days. Pretty mixed. Probably bearish tomorrow overall. And then AFRM. If you have like a lot of questions, guys, that would be a circumstance where you probably want to do like a one-on-one with me rather than dominate the chat, because there's only a limited amount of time here. I want to keep it like, somewhat available for free people too, somewhat. Hey Robert, was just hopping off. So that's how it goes for tomorrow, guys. If you're in a short, I would say wait for the drop tomorrow. Wait for the drop tomorrow, first thing in the morning off of a high. It's probably a high in the pre-market and a decline into a low right around the open or just after the open. So you'd want to get into a short position in the midst of a rally if you're not already in one. And then you could probably close that short position first, like in the midst of a low, first thing like around the open, or it's possible maybe like within the 10 to 11 o'clock hour, but that's getting risky because it gets kind of erratic and we do revisit a crest somewhere before noontime. All right, guys, thanks for watching. As always, make sure to follow that Rule of Karma. You do so here on the Resources tab. There are people that follow the Rule of Karma almost every single day, guys. Just so everybody's aware, like there's people who I know quite well because they do Rule of Karma regularly, and those are those angel investors, people following the Rule of Karma. 5% of the profits back to the channel here, 5% of the profits forward to one of these charities, and then that leaves you with 90% of the profits left over. As long as you spend that money out of love and follow those rules, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. I'll see you guys on the next one.